these Monday interviews, Coach. We appreciate your time. One weekend in the books. There was lots of extra stuff this weekend because of celebrating last year's team and ceremonial first pitches and all of that. With these 3 games now kind of in the books, what do you think? How did it go? Did you feel good about the weekend as a whole?
Yeah, I think overall it was good. Obviously, the takeaway of 3 wins, that's, terrific. I thought we swung it well. I thought we pitched it well. I thought we ran the bases well, and certainly defensively to play 3 games without an error. I thought Calvin Harris made a great throw yesterday in a steal attempt. We didn't have a ball past the catcher the entire weekend. So a lot of boxes checked, but still, ways to go. We're going to see better pitching, obviously, this weekend against Maryland. We're going to face probably a better club physically than the Delaware club. And there's areas that we got to cut down the walks on the mound. I think we'd like to be a little more consistent offensively, although we scored a ton of runs. Where I thought we had some lapses, but a lot of pluses. The pluses certainly outweigh the minuses.
I don't even know if this question makes sense, but if you could draw up like a scoring scenario, because you had some big innings this weekend, where you put 4 runs on the board or 5 runs on the board. As a coach, would you rather have it where you scratch out 2 or 3, 4 or 5 times throughout the course of the game, as opposed to getting to 9 or 10 runs based on a big inning here and a big inning 5 innings later?
Great question, and I don't know if there's an easy answer. I think part of you, if you were guaranteed the 9 runs, would you rather score one an inning rather than score 8 and 1? If I knew I was going to get 9, it'd probably be a lot easier to go 1 an inning, just so your pitchers don't have to sit and your defense doesn't have to sit, and I think the flow of the game's better. But the truth of the matter is, scoring's hard, so we'll take the runs whenever we can get them. But I think that probably the reason that you asked the question is like that is because hitting's hard, and if you put a big inning together and you score 4 or 5 like we did a few times this weekend, and then you go a few innings where you don't score, you're a little more critical, I think. Hey, could we have had some better at-bats? Could we have done some things differently to be more productive, more consistently? But again, I think that's, sometimes that could be a little overcritical.
We asked Scott Berry about this a couple of hours ago, asked Chris Lamonis about it. I'm curious, this was the first weekend with kind of the new clock rules and the time, and we talked with you last week about what that was going to look like. Having gone through it for a weekend, what'd you think?
Probably what I thought. I thought our guys did a great job, of getting to the plate. The hitters, pitchers. We had on yesterday. We had a little bit of an issue on the mound that we had 1 ball called, because we had used our reset. Some technical, type of stuff, but for the most part, I thought we did a good job. It puts a big onus on the umpires to really be able to control the game. And what we found this weekend, which I really knew was going to be a problem, everybody's talking because it's the obvious thing. The ball's being called or the strike's being called because kind of like when the shot clock, if you don't get the shot off, you're right, to change of possession. If you don't make the play on football, it's a 5-yard penalty. So when there's penalties involved, I think the fans understand it, right? They're sitting in the stands, oh, that was a penalty, because they didn't throw the ball or didn't get in the box soon enough. And that's what probably caught more national attention. My biggest fear of all of this is that the pitchers are going to go too quick and the hitters don't get a chance to get in the box. And we had several arguments this weekend about, I thought it was unfair where, our hitters have till 10 seconds left to get in the box, and the guys are pitching at 18 seconds. Our guys aren't in the box. And so I saw it kind of the reverse of, of what's happened in a lot of the other areas around the country.
Yeah, and I can't remember. It may have been Chris that said earlier, if a hitter climbs into the box with 18 seconds and then the pitcher holds the ball and holds it and doesn't deliver it till 2, but the hitter doesn't have the opportunity to call time out there, that's a long time sometimes for a hitter to stand there and just kind of wait and wait and wait without a reset.
That's true. And, but what I think I would much rather have that as a hitter to where I can just take practice swings and just rest that bat on my shoulder versus
Then a quick pitch.
the pitcher's on the rubber and he's ready to throw the ball and I'm not in the box. Now the clock started going down 20, 19, 18. And as I'm getting 1 foot in the box, he's starting to wind up or come set in the stretch. And you're asking a guy to do the most difficult thing in all of sports statistically, right? To hit a baseball, you're a Hall of Famer if you hit 300. Well, you fail 70% of the time. And so you're asking that guy to do something that's really hard and to get in the box, and the guy's starting to pitch, he's not even in the box yet or got 2 hands on the bat. And so one of the bad things about these rules, and there's no doubt that it worked. The games were much faster this weekend, not just here but across the country. The problem is all the rules are set up for the pitchers. They're asking that the umpires, as Chris is saying, to not give the hitter timeout, and we got to play this game faster, so you can't be letting them call timeout. Well, but you got to let them at least get into the box, or it's not going to be fair.
Sure, you've played a lot of games of catch with your dad through the years. How cool was it to squat down behind home plate and catch a ceremonial first pitch for him, especially with the Delaware connection?
Yeah, really cool. Really, really cool. And something, thought about, months ago when, obviously we knew they were coming, and then you got to kind of run it through the Ole Miss people because, there's sponsors for the game and different things going on. But, we were able to secure the first pitch on Sunday, and, he was really nervous, as everybody is, to throw out the first pitch. You'd be surprised how nervous people are, because how many people have thrown a ball in front of 10,000 people, right? And all the eyes are watching. But just really cool. And you're right. We've played a lot of catch growing up. Maybe not as much recently, right? Because both of us are getting old. But yeah, just one of those great father-son moments, and it was a great ovation by the fans. I appreciated that, and I know that my father did as well.
From a scheduling standpoint, you have a Tuesday game against Arkansas State, and then 4 of your next 6 games are against the same opponent from a different conference. Maryland with a 3-game series, and then you play them in the first game of the tournament in Minneapolis as well. What are people going to see from Maryland when they roll in this coming weekend?
Well, you're going to see, obviously, a really good team that's ranked in the top 20. And, I would assume just about every poll. I think I haven't looked this year. I haven't looked at the polls today, but I think they were 13th or around 13th in most of the polls to start the season, and, won 2 out of 3 down in South Florida. They got a pitcher on Friday night, Savakul, that was a USA attendee this summer. They got the number 1 ranked catcher in the country behind the plate, and a team that's not just ranked, but a team that hosted a regional last year. So a veteran club. They hit a lot of homers last year. I haven't really delved into it too much. I started looking at some of the Arkansas State stuff. So all of this is just going off of memory and what I do know about them. But certainly a team in the Big Ten, that's a postseason team that used to play in the ACC, a team that's used to postseason. A good Northern team plays in a really good baseball conference, and it's going to be a little different look for us this weekend.
And the pitching plan for tomorrow against Arkansas State?
Yeah, early on and kind of what we've talked about, we haven't announced next for the rotation yet for the weekend. May hold off to do that after we get through tomorrow's game and stuff. Just trying to figure out, what we do, tomorrow and who we use up. But we're going to start freshman JT Quinn through 1 inning on Friday. Against Delaware, and we'll hopefully get to pitch some guys that haven't pitched yet. Mason Nichols didn't get to pitch this weekend, really probably because of some of those shortened games. But yeah, I think we got plenty of guys, but certainly you'll see Quinn that'll start the game, and I think you'll see Takoyan in relief. Certainly Nichols has to get on the mound at some point tomorrow. And early on, I think that we need to run as many arms out there as possible, over the next couple weeks because we have so many new faces, on this staff to see what they can do and try to get ready. It's not spring training, as you know. We got to win these games, but we also got to get a good pitching plan by the time we get through these, next 3 weeks. So we know how that lines up with the roles for the bullpen against Vanderbilt.
Congratulations on the sweep. Thanks for your time, and we'll talk to you next Monday.